Hi there, this is attempt number 3 at this video. Don't know what's going on with my phone at the moment, but it's not wanting to play the game. But anyway, so I've already started on this bit today, but I will try and kind of, catch up with it and show you what I'm doing. So today I'm making another embellishment to go on the front of a card. So that I have them sort of as a stash of them. And today I'm just going to make an easy shaker embellishment. Don't know if you've ever made shakers before, but I'm making a really small one today, so hopefully this will be okay. Right, okay, so I started off by saying that I've got 2 of these dies which cut out a sort of a large stamp shape, and I really like them. I use them quite a lot actually. So what I've done is I have cut out a backing piece, which is the green, and I've also cut out a frame, which is this red, and I have also cut out a shape. So I've recut the frame again in children's craft foam. And I've also cut it to the size but not shaped, so to the size, which in this case is 1.5 by 2.5 inches of acetate. And what I've done, so that it fits just inside the frame, what I've done is glued it down with a wet glue. I've made sure that I've pressed it all the way round, because I absolutely have to have a complete seal on here, because what I'm going to be using for the inside, since it's so small, I've put together a little pot here of bits and pieces, which, let me see, I hope you can see what's in there. I've got some little sequins in matching colours, but I've also got what's called micro beads, and they make a really good sound. For something as small as this, they shift the sequins around, so you're not having to, they don't stick everywhere. And these are the micro beads that I'm using, and they really are, they're like absolute dust. But they do come in some nice colours and things, although unfortunately they don't do a red. The closest they do to a red is sort of a bright pink. I've also got some of these little tiny miniature stars that I found in Hobbycraft. These are relatively cheap as well, and I'm using some white ones of these. And I'm going to be using a topping, a top sort of embellishment, which is a white poinsettia. Now I showed you that I made the red ones, but these are a white poinsettia cluster. I've already shown pictures of them on my Facebook group, and I've been away from the videos for a while because I've been doing absolutely loads of these bits and pieces, these elements that are all different, as well as all sorts of other things, sort of a lot of die cutting and stuff to make up some of these embellishments that I'm going to be doing, and also to make up the packs. So I've got a little pot that I've already kind of laid out. I've got a couple of other elements that I may or may not use, but that's where we're up to at the moment. So what I'm saying is that if I'm making something, a shaker, I always use this pad that I have for my heat embossing, and it reduces the static on the acetate, and also it will dry up any spare glue that's gone anywhere. So I'm actually going to use it inside here as well. I'm just going to give it a real good bash inside here as well, and hope that if there is anything that's going to stick, that this will prevent it from doing so. Okay, so let me tip out the spare powder that's in there, and now I've got this, the children's craft foam piece stuck to the outside of my backing there. I'm going to add the sequins, and you know, bits, the little micro beads. I'm just going to tip this little pot in. You actually don't need that many, especially if you have a backing paper that you want to show, but I don't, so I'm not that bothered. But if I had a picture in there, or say an embossed piece, a dry embossed piece that I would like to show, then yeah, it's, you know, it's important that you don't have too many. Less is more, as they say. Now what I'm doing at the moment is I'm turning all the sequins over so that they're cup side up. I like to do this because it stops them sort of blocking everything up if they're all the same way up. I've used I've used double the amount of the craft foam. So I cut 2 of these frames in the craft foam and stuck them together because I wanted the additional height to make sure that these sequins clear it and you actually get some good movement inside. There is a way to make a flat shaker card, and probably later on in the series I will show you how to do that. But at the moment we're going to do this one. At the moment I'm showing you this one. This is quite an easy one. So as you can see, I've got my little stars in there. I've got those micro beads, and what they do is they help everything to move around so it doesn't get stuck everywhere. And they're the things that sort of provide the noise, the sound, the lovely traditional shaker sound. So I have this now. I'm going to stick this frame onto the top, and again I'm going to make sure that this is a completely tight seal all the way round, because I don't want any of those little tiny micro beads escaping. So I'm just going to add a fairly thin line of glue. I'm using wet glue. If you're going to do bigger shakers, then obviously you can use tape, you can use whatever you want, but to be honest with you, I would always run my embossing powder thing, I don't know what you call it, embossing powder thingy, this thing, hopeless. I would always run that round it, no matter what size shaker you're doing, just because otherwise you can end up with all the elements sticking to the acetate if there's a build-up of static in there. Right, so I'm getting nowhere fast with this, but anyway, let's go here, and let's go here, and I'm going to absolutely hope and pray, since I'm doing it on camera, that nothing escapes when I give it a shake. But you know how things go sometimes. So anyway, I have all the pieces put together. I'm just going to put the lid on it, basically, and apply some pressure. Oh, there's glue there. Oh, it's too much glue, so let's just take this off. Unfortunately, nothing sort of stuck, so that powder is working. I must get that bit of glue off of there, because otherwise all my bits and pieces inside will stick to it. I think I was just a bit too generous with the glue, but anyway, there's a little bit there still as well. Hold on. This is why it's a bit fiddly, and I totally understand if people don't make these. I didn't make them for years because I just struggled too much with them, but I've got more used to it now. I've been making quite a few of them, so I'm just going to make sure that's all lined up, and I'm going to just apply some pressure to that, and hopefully, hope and pray that it sticks and none of the bits come out, and that it actually works. Yeah, so there we go, none of the bits are coming out. It's giving a good sound, which is what we're looking for, and it's very decorative. Okay, so I can clean this up afterwards, any powder that I've got on it. I'll clean that up afterwards. But yeah, that's a nice little shaker. And like I say, you don't need too many elements. If you pack it with elements inside, like sequins and things, you lose the effect of it. So it's better to just do it like that. Right, so I can put all these bits out of the way now, and we can get on, and I will show you how I put the card together. So for this card, I have used the standard, I think it's A5 American size card. It is 4 1/4 inches wide and 5 1/2 inches long. And I always use a top mat, and I like to leave about 1/4 of an inch border, so 1/8 of an inch all the way round, especially because this is like a dark cardstock, and you know, it just shows it off really nicely. So what I'm going to do today, the pattern I've decided to do is that I'm going to put this on here. I'm going to add this to the side. I'm going to use some more sort of decorative element bits, and I'm going to use my shaker right on the side, and I'm going to put a word and some other bits and pieces. But that's how I would use that's one of the ways in which I would use a small shaker like that. So okay, let's get going with it. The first thing obviously is to glue this down. You can use double-sided tape. I pretty much always use a wet glue, just because I think because it soaks into the paper, it makes a better bond. It's almost like it bonds the paper to the card. And also, to start with, you've got a little bit of wiggle room, so you know, if it's not quite in the right place, you can take it off quickly, as long as you act quickly and move it about. But if you prefer to use double-sided tape, absolutely, you do you. Right, okay, so let's see if I can get this lined up how I'd like it to be. Again, excuse me, I have got that shaky hand problem, but that's just me. Okay, so that looks relatively straight. Let me look. Yeah, I'm pleased with that. That looks like an even border all the way round. You'll see how simple this card is to come together. And actually, if you've got, the whole idea of me doing embellishments is that if you have a stack of different embellishments, so you could make this in pinks, in blues, any colour, any patterns, and just have a few in the, you know, in the cupboard or in the drawer in your store, you can make them up at any time of the year. And if you have to put a card together quickly, you just pull out the elements and use them, you know, and there you are. You've got a really classy looking card in a matter of, you know, a very short while. On one of my Facebook groups, I've just started another one today actually, but on one of my Facebook groups called Craft Share UK, I publish, well, for the last 3 years I've published weekly card sketches where it's all measured out for you, and you just, so basically the quickest way is to pick up you know, get yourself out one of the card sketches, put it together using all the measurements and get yourself an embellishment that you've already made, and yeah, you're good to go. Right, okay, so that's going on there, and to just brighten this up a little bit, I am going to add some of this decorative trim here because I do like a bit of bling. I was saying in one of the other attempts I've had at making this video that, oops, hold on, let me get this straight on here. What was I talking about? Do you know what? I've lost the thread. I have to come back to it in a minute. But yeah, so I'm just going to sort of brighten this up with a little, oh, I know what it was. It was about editing the video. Now, I have to apologise for the last video because whilst it's, you know, informative and and all the rest of it. It's also much longer than I expected it to be, and it is also, there are large gaps in it that, you know, nothing's happening, and you know, or I might be talking over it or something like that. It's not a very good video. However, you do learn a lot from it if you want to watch it. But I said at the time that I was looking forward to editing it, because I've never been able to do that personally. And I tried editing it, and unfortunately my computer doesn't recognize my phone. So I film on my phone. I was going to edit on the computer, and I can't upload it to the computer or download it or whatever it is. I can't get it to do that, so I couldn't edit it, and I can't edit this one. So unfortunately this is the, you know, unedited version, so to speak. Right, so now I'm actually going to put my shaker element on here. I'm going to center it up because it fits between those lines. My thoughts are to add this embellishment, this small embellishment, onto here. I think that should look quite nice. I've got some letters. I'm going to put the word joy down. I've also raised these up on some of that craft foam, so I'm going to put that there straight, obviously. And then I've either got a bow, another, but this is another thing. I was sitting there every evening for the last fortnight making hundreds and hundreds of bows in different colours. And these are fork bows. I don't know if you've ever heard of them, but yeah, see, that looks nice up in the corner like that. So anyway, let's see how we're going. But these are fork bows, so they're made on a funnily enough, they're made on a fork, using a fork. So if you want to know how to do them, let me know. If not, have a look on YouTube. There are loads and loads of examples of it. They are really simple to do, and my tip is to use a small crochet hook when you come to do them, because I found them really fiddly to make until I thought of using my crochet hook. You'll see what I mean if you look up any of the videos. So yeah, right, so I'm just going to stick this element down. Oh, I love the way it rattles, and that is lovely. So I'm going to place it about halfway. I'm lining it up with my two edges here. If you are interested in the dimensions for this card, I've got it drawn out. That's the size of the mat and where you place everything. You can ignore this. I was going to put this here, but I actually prefer the word joy on it. So yeah, let me put that down, and maybe you can take a shot of it or something. But that's the actual sizes for making the card, and that's obviously the embellishment bit. Right, so we have this so far. I am now going to sort of place this, and let's see where I'm going. I can't put joy in the middle, which is where I probably would have put it, because I can't fit the flowers on, because it hangs over it looks a bit disjointed. I mean, I can if I squash it up a bit, I suppose, but or I can move it up a little bit. Can have it at an angle if you want. Joy, that looks all right. That looks quite nice, actually. Quite like that. Besides which, then you haven't got to worry about whether you've got it straight or not. Yeah, that's a good idea, you know. Yeah, quite like that. That is a good idea. Quick thinking. So basically, what I'm going to do is I am going to take this off, mark a little line so that they are relatively straight. Let's go from the middle. Just place my ruler like that. I'm going to mark a little line here. that just I can see. And then I'm going to stick the letters to it, and we will have the word joy on the card. Yeah, I like these words sort of, I mean, I like it going upwards because it's like exalting, you know, it's joyful. Right, let me see if I can find the line that I drew. I think it's about there. I think it's there. Well, I can always fit the flowers round it anyway. Let go of the letters. Goodness me, it's squashing glue out everywhere today. I hope the lighting is okay. As I say, I can't remember if I said it on this video or on one of my previous attempts, but it is, you know, we have very short days here now in England, in UK, and it's about probably about 5:30, 6 o'clock in the evening on a very stormy day. And so yeah, and I've got every light on that I own in this room, so I'm just really hoping that it's, please, I'm really hoping that it's okay for you. Like I say, if it isn't, I can't edit it. There's nothing I can do about it at the moment. I need somebody to have a look at why my computer won't accept my phone. It always used to. I managed to upload loads of photos and videos before, but not at the moment for some reason. Right, let's get that positioned, and then the word, the letter Y. So again, these are little embellishments. I mean, you could actually have these already made up and stuck together on a little piece of acetate or something, so that all you have to do is just attach them. So it's about there, I think. Let's have a look. Right, let me just tip the card up and take a check. Yep, that's nice. Now all I have to do with my embellishment, because I stuck it on a backing circle as I showed you before, is just simply place it on here. The only bit I need to glue is the backing circle, and it's done. And then it just remains to put a few more bits and pieces on the card, and the card's done. And obviously, because I'm rabbiting on, it's taken me longer, but presumably if you have these elements made up and sort of in front of you, this won't take you any time at all. It'll take you 5 minutes. Right, let's just lift this up and put a bit of glue underneath there to hold it down. Hold those leaves down, and a little blob of glue under here. Lift up just there, just stick that down. And they're so sort of versatile, you know, you can put them anywhere really. Fluff up my little poinsettia, and then decide on whether I'm going to put a little bow on it, like that one, Christmassy bow, or I've got this greeny blue tartany bow, which I do quite like. Let me see, shall I go for that one or shall I go for the red one? Green, red, green, red. You're probably shrieking at me something or other, so I'll go with the green. And I am going to use, if I can find it, my Fabri-Tac. Is that it? Yeah, that's it. Or actually, it's not Fabri-Tac. Oh, yes, it is Fabri-Tac, this one. No, I'm not going to use that one, actually. That's all a bit stuck together. I'm going to use my 3-in-1, which is pretty much the same thing as Fabri-Tac. Yuck. Get rid of all that stuff. And I'm going to put a little blob of glue, put a little blob of that on here. The reason being, this is a thicker sort of gel-like glue, and it will hold this bow more strongly than just ordinary like wet glue, so I'm going to pop that on there. That will take a few moments to set up. And then just to finish this card off, because as I said I do like a bit of bling, I am going to put some of these gemstones on, and it just remains whether I'm going to use the green ones or the red ones. Hold on, let's find the red one. Turn over, come on, behave. You're on camera, behave yourself. Just to give a little bit of shine and glimmer. I think I'll use the green ones, they seem to show up better. So I like to do everything in odd numbers, so I'm going to give it 1, 2, 3, and I'll be doing 3 down the bottom. So let's see if this little wax pencil works. It does. There's 1. These are quite big. I don't usually use my gemstones as big as these, but this is all I have at the moment. 3 in these beautiful Christmassy colours, and in the bottom 1, 2, 3. So I hope you're finding these embellishment videos useful, to give you some ideas or to make some embellishments yourself, because how simple they are. I've also, as I said at the start of this, just started up a new Facebook group called Embellishments Only, and it's actually, well, it's not called Embellishments Only, but it's for embellishments only, and it is called oh gosh, it is called, what is it called? Handmade crafting embellishments, and basically it's a buy and sell group, so you can show what you've made, you can come on there and have a look at what other people are showing, or you can actually purchase people's embellishments if you like them from there, including mine, or you can put your own up for sale as well. So yeah, anyway, this is today's card. I hope you like it. I hope you found it useful, and I look forward to seeing you again for the next one. Take care. Bye.